Is open trade in danger now?
Yes, there are threats which need to be addressed. The mood which we've had for many decades, that open trade is the right way to go, and which has been reasonably successful, has in some quarters changed, notably in part of the public opinion of developed countries, for reasons that have to do with the way trade opening has hit part of the population which had to adjust, and we know that trade opening works because of the disruptions it creates, and these disruptions make winners and losers, and if you don't take enough care about the losers will not be satisfied and will vent political frustration, which is what happened notably in the US. The international trading system needs to be improved. And then you probably also have to work on the domestic part of that. It's not the WTO that will decide what sort of labor market flexibility, what sort of unemployment compensation, what sort of redistribution you need within a country. This is a domestic issue, but a lot of that has to do with trade opening.
What's your opinion on the trade protectionism and what role the WTO should play to curb protectionism?
I think the World Trade Organization is a sort of a collective insurance against protectionism. It's a place where the rules of the game on world trade are decided, monitored, and if necessary, adjudicated. It has worked reasonably well, although recently the rules of the game have not changed, while important development occurred in the world economy, let's say, during the last 10 or 20 years, and in the meantime the rules of the WTO have not adjusted to a number of developments, which has created this sort of need for catch-up, on which a number of players are insisting for different reasons, which is why this notion that we now need a WTO reform is a consensus, as decided by the G20. Now, what does exactly mean WTO reform is still unclear, but my own sense is that it's a necessity, and that the bigger players around the table, US of course, EU, Japan, China, should find a way out.
You talk about the WTO reform. What is the main issue of the reform, and what could be the resistance to the reform?
On the dispute settlement, which is the sort of adjudication system in WTO, where countries can litigate against each other, there are a few procedural fixes that need to be addressed, and the European Union and China have together tabled proposals. The big issue lies with what still needs to be done in leveling the playing field at a global level.
Are you optimistic about a reform, and what is critical to success?
What's critical to success is that EU, US, China basically find a way out and a sort of trade-off between what matters for EU, what matters for US, and what matters for China. Now, so far, what EU and Japan have been trying to do is sort of create sort of triangle where they talk to US on the one side, they talk to China on the other side, and they try to pre-cook a deal which, at the end of the day, China and US could agree around the WTO table. Now, whether this will work or not, I don't know. And of course, there is a big question mark there on the US side, because we don't really know whether Mr. Trump wants to improve the WTO or whether he wants to wreck it. And, you know, maybe this is a tactical position that he doesn't really say where he wants to go, and maybe it's deeper than that, and this we don't know, unfortunately.
American President Trump always threats to withdraw the United States from the WTO. Are you worried about his threat?
My own sense, for what it's worth, is that we have to try and keep the US within the system, because a World Trade Organization needs all the big economies of the planet around the table. Now, if that was to prove not possible, notably because US would be asking for things which others would not accept, then you need plan B, which is think of a World Trade Organization where the US would not be part of. I think it necessitates a bit of imagination. I don't think it should be plan A, but I think if you want plan A to work, you sometimes need to have a plan B on the table.